What is up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Legal Hands to the Face. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and the season is here. It is week one. It's unbelievable. In 2 days, we have NFL football, Thursday night football, and on Sunday, the Philadelphia Eagles are back 4:25 against the New England Patriots. Quick reminder, guys, we have signed a deal with the Jacob Sports Network. So Monday nights, 6:30 to 8 p.m. live on YouTube. They will be live streaming our show every Monday night. So be sure to check out the Jacob Sports Network, JAKIB. Also, a reminder, although we do the podcast show weekly, we are posting daily content to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Threads. So get on over to all those social platforms. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share. The more Eagles fans we can reach, the better. It's still unbelievable to me that we have finally made it. It feels like an eternity ago that we saw that holding call in Super Bowl 57. And this week, we got a familiar face coming to town. Well, really, we're going to him in New England. But TikTok boy Juju Smith-Schuster is now on the New England Patriots. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But some housekeeping things here, guys. The Philadelphia Eagles named their captains today, and they go with 9 captains. That is a lot of captains. And I remember back when I played, usually you went one on offense, one on defense, one on special teams. But the Philadelphia Eagles go with 9 captains. They do have a lot of leaders on this team, so it makes some sense. But obviously, Jalen Hurts, your quarterback, is a captain. Cornerback Darius Slay, big play Slay. He's also a captain. Also on that defensive side of the ball, no surprises here. Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox, also captains for this 2023 Eagles team. On the offensive side of the ball, interesting, in addition to Jalen Hurts, obviously they go with Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson, 2 veterans. But both wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, are captains on your 2023 Philadelphia Eagles team. I like that. These 2 guys, we've talked about it all offseason. We have 2 number 1 wide receivers. Both of these guys deserve the ball. They deserve to be leaders. So I like that. Both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are captains on this team. And then your special teams captain, Jake Elliott. So like I said, 9 captains. Curious what you guys, if you're following along on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, leave us a comment below. Let me know what you think about 9 captains on this Eagles team. And if you guys are only listening to the audio, because we do upload this to the podcast platforms once it's over, check out one of our live shows. Like I said, it's going to be aired Monday night on the YouTube networks of Jacob Sports and Legal Hands to the Face from 6:30 to 8 o'clock following these Eagles games. Also, big news, I mentioned it before, but starting this Sunday, I will be down at the Ocean Casino with Jacob Sports doing pregame, halftime, postgame, all types of fun stuff with the Jacob Sports crew down there. So be sure to check that out as well on all the Jacob Sports networks. So that should be pretty awesome. So let's take a look. Week 1 preview going in New England Patriots, Tom Brady Day. The New England Patriots are going to have Tom Brady back to Gillette Stadium. They're going to honor him before the game. And I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think. If you think that's going to get the Patriots excited and get them all hyped up for the game, or does it have the opposite effect? If I'm Mac Jones, he's already struggling going into year 3 as a starter. Do you like Tom Brady in the building? Do you like Tom Brady getting honored before the game? That could have the reverse effect. Some guys will live up to that moment, elevate their game. Other guys are going to cower and not play as well. We will see how Mac Jones does. But let's look at the Eagles depth chart. So on the website, the Philadelphia Eagles website, they always release a depth chart. Now, this is unofficial, but sometimes you can learn some things from the Philadelphia Eagles website and their depth chart. So some big questions on the offensive side of the ball is, who are your starting running backs? Who are the Eagles going to dress for this game? Are they going to dress all 4 of the running backs? Who's going to be your starter? Well, the Eagles website doesn't give anything away. They list all 4 running backs as starters. Kenny Gainwell, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott, and DeAndre Swift. None of those guys are listed as second string. They're all listed as your number one running back. So we are still going to have to find out this Sunday who's going to get the lion's share of the carries and the touches. It really may be a running back by committee, and they go with the hot hand. But let's look at the rest of that offensive depth chart. Really no surprises here. Wide receiver A.J. Brown, left tackle Jordan Mailata, left guard Landon Dickerson, center Jason Kelsey, right guard Cam Jurgens. We thought going into training camp there may be a battle. Turned out to be no battle at all. Cam Jurgens has been the starting right guard all summer long. Right tackle Lane Johnson, tight end Dallas Goedert. So really no surprises there. Interestingly, as the first backup to Dallas Goedert, they have Jack Stoll listed, and then after him as your third stringer, Grant Calcaterra, and then your fourth string, newly acquired Albert O from the Denver Broncos. The more I watch highlights on Albert O, I'm curious to see how the Philadelphia Eagles are going to use him in this offense. He is a big body. I was very excited about Tyree Jackson, the quarterback they tried to convert to tight end, really could never stay healthy, could never really make an impact on this team. They go out and they get another big boy, Albert O. Let's see if they can get him up to speed and if he starts playing. At the third wide receiver position, Quez Watkins is listed as your wide receiver 3 with Olamide Zaccheaus as his backups. That's a little bit interesting. We knew all training camp they've been talking up Quez, so it looks like he's your wide receiver 3 again with Olamide as your wide receiver 4. Obviously, Devontae Smith is the other wide receiver there with A.J. Brown. And then quarterback, no surprises here. Our man Jalen Hurts is the starter. Marcus Mariota is listed as the backup. I know a lot of people said, hey, get Tanner McKee. I agree with this. Marcus Mariota, a lot more experience, can run a similar offense to Jalen Hurts if he has to come in for a play or two. But really no surprises there. Going over to the defensive side of the ball, again, looking for some sort of information as to who is going to be the other starting safety next to Reed Blankenship. The website, the Eagles website, they're smart. They're not giving anything away. They have listed next to Reed Blankenship both Terrell Edmonds and Justin Evans. So still yet to be determined who is going to be the starter there. They do have Sidney Brown listed as the second string safety. I did not expect him to start week 1. I think he's got a lot to learn. The kid looks good. Love the way he throws his body around, but he is raw. He is a rookie. I like to see them bring him along slowly, but I do expect Sidney Brown to be cracking this starting lineup before the end of the season. But looking down the rest of this list, not a lot of surprises on the defensive side of the ball either. Brandon Graham and Josh Sweat, starting defensive ends. They have Hassan Reddick listed as your Sam, but he's your edge rusher. Defensive tackles, they have Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis listed as the starters, with Milton Williams and Jalen Carter as the backups. I expect all 4 of those guys to get a lot of playing time, mixing them in, keeping them fresh. So excited to see what that interior of that defensive line is going to do this season. We know what Fletcher Cox can do. Yeah, he's getting up there in years, but the guy can still play. But it's those other 3 guys, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, and rookie Jalen Carter, that I am so excited to see this year. Jordan Davis, a healthy season for him. Last year, he had that lower leg injury early in the season, probably lingered a lot. You're a big guy. You have a lower leg injury like that. But Milton Williams is a guy to look out for. I'm expecting big things from Milton Williams. I've been saying it all summer long. It's finally here. Watch out for Milton Williams. And you are hearing what they're saying about the rookie Jalen Carter. It's not just fans who are excited. Even the veterans on this team are excited for Baby Rhino. And then defensive end, like I said, the other starter they have listed is Josh Sweat. Also expecting a big year from him. I did a video on my Instagram page. If you guys follow along, Legal Hands to the Face, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, all those platforms. Posted a video the other day about Josh Sweat. I think he may lead this Eagles team in sacks. I know everyone immediately wants to say Hassan Reddick, but you look at Josh Sweat and you look how he has improved every single season since he came into the league. Last year, finally reaches double-digit sacks. I expect big things from him. He's just so athletic. You look how fast Josh Sweat comes around the edge, and he gets that interior shoulder so low to the ground that makes it so difficult when he's coming around the edge for these big tackles to try to get their hands on him and block him. So be on the lookout. Josh Sweat, big season. Maybe even a Pro Bowl, all-pro season for Josh Sweat this year. And then our linebackers. Again, looking for some sort of hint as to who the starters are going to be. No hints on the website. They got Nakobe Dean listed as your Mike, which we expected. But then at the will linebacker, Zach Cunningham and Christian Ellis are both listed as your starters. We're going to have to wait probably until game day to see who your starting linebacker is next to Nakobe Dean. I think it's going to be Zach Cunningham. I think you'll see Christian Ellis work in there. But I think the Eagles like the idea of having Zach Cunningham, who started over 80 games in the NFL, or excuse me, appeared in over 80 games in the NFL, next to a young guy like Nakobe Dean. You put Christian Ellis in there. Neither one of these guys has played a lot of defensive snaps in the NFL. I think the Eagles like having a little bit of experience next to Nakobe Dean. Cornerback James Bradbury and Darius Slay. They have Josh Jobe and Keely Ringo listed as their backups, with Eli Ricks as the third string outside corner. At your nickel, starting nickel cornerback, Avonte Maddox. We know how good Avonte Maddox can be when he stays healthy, and that is the key. Can he put together a healthy season this year? Because the guy is so damn good when he's on the field. They have Mario Goodrich listed as his backup at that nickel corner position. And safety, Terrell Edmonds and Justin Evans listed next to Reed Blankenship, like we said earlier. So we will see. And then going down to that special teams unit, no punter listed on the depth chart. I know the Eagles have continued to work out some punters, but I think what you're going to see, I said it as soon as they cut Aaron Sippis, that they were going to bring him back on the practice squad and they were going to utilize what the CBA allows, which is you can bring up a player from your practice squad 3 times and then you have to add them to your active 53-man roster. So be on the lookout for Aaron Sippis to probably get added to the game day roster 3 weeks in a row before they have to make a decision. It's similar to what they did with Britton Covey last season, and they're probably going to do it with Britton Covey again this year, because as of right now, your punt returner is listed as Olamide Zaccheaus with Quez Watkins as your second string. I think you're going to see Britton Covey active on game days as well, but that's yet to be determined. Because the interesting thing here is when you're looking at this depth chart, not only do they not have a punter listed, they don't have a holder listed. And these other punters that the Eagles are working out have very similar net punting yards to Aaron Sippis. So I think what's going to put Sippis over the top here is Jake Elliott is familiar with him as his holder. And that is more important than anything else in this league, is you got to be able to kick field goals. And we're going to talk about that in a second when we break down the New England Patriots, Philadelphia Eagles matchup, where the Eagles may have the advantage. And then as your kick returner right now, it's listed as Boston Scott. So if Boston Scott's your kick returner, you know he's going to dress who are the other running backs they put. Tom G in the comments says he thinks they may sit Rashad Penny. The only reason I don't know if that's going to be the case is you look at the other running backs on this team, DeAndre Swift, Boston Scott, and Kenny Gainwell. They're all smaller running backs. The only guy on this team at that running back position that has some size is Rashad Penny. So do the Philadelphia Eagles want to dress a big running back? Guys, if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, hit that like button, smash that like button, give us a share. I want to reach as many Eagles fans as we can. The support so far has been amazing, and let's keep it going. But let's jump right in to this week 1 matchup against the New England Patriots. I did a video on our social channels today that I don't think that this Patriots offense is going to be able to keep up with this Eagles offense. And the only way that that Patriots offense is going to be able to keep up is if the Patriots defense is able to limit this Philadelphia Eagles high-powered offense. The Philadelphia Eagles last year finished in the top 3 for yards per game, the top 3 for points per game, the top 10 for passing yards a game, and the top 5 for rushing yards a game. So we saw it last year. This is a high-powered Philadelphia Eagles offense. But that Patriots defense was pretty damn good last year. They always seem to have good defenses under Bill Belichick. And what did they do? They go into the draft and they draft their first 3 draft picks on the defensive side of the ball with corner Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, defensive end Keon White out of Georgia Tech, and then linebacker safety Marte Mapu out of Sacramento State. So we know that Eagles offense is going to have its work cut out for them against that Patriots defense. And I think the big battle, you talk about what do the Eagles like to do and what can the Patriots do well. The Eagles had a top 5 rushing offense last year. Well, you look at the New England Patriots against the run, they were in the top 6 in rushing yards against. So, what is going to break there? Are the Eagles going to be able to establish the run against this very good New England Patriots rush defense? They were also good yards per game. Pat's defense, top 8. Points per game against, top 11. And passing yards a game, they were in the middle of the pack at number 16. So do the Eagles try to establish the run or do they go to the air? It looks like they may fare better in the air against this Patriots defense. But guys to look out for on that Patriots defense, former Philadelphia Eagle, he wears number 2 now, cornerback, the Green Goblin, Jalen Mills. You all remember him from the 2017 Super Bowl. He is still with the New England Patriots. He was released in March. They brought him back a couple of days later. He only played in 10 games last year, but the New England Patriots may be relying on him more this year. A big loss in the offseason on that defense. Devin McCourty retired after 13 seasons, all of them with the New England Patriots. He started all 17 games last year. He retires in the offseason. So, like I said, that New England Patriots defense, middle of the pack with passing yards against. They lose Devin McCourty. They still have Jalen Mills, some young players on that side of the ball. So we'll see if the Eagles try to exploit that. Another guy who had a career year for that New England Patriots defense last year, and look out for him. He wears number 8, is linebacker Jawan Bentley. He's entering his 6th season, but last year in 2022, he started all 17 games, led the Patriots in tackles with 125 tackles. He had 3 sacks and an interception. He is all over the field, so look for him, Jawan Bentley, number 8. He's a guy that the Philadelphia Eagles need to make sure they account for on that defensive side of the ball. But interestingly, I wanted to look at Bill Belichick. I did a video on this last week as well about, he's going to have all this extra time to prepare. Bill Belichick, a defensive mind. Oh, he's a defensive genius, and he's going to have all this extra time to prepare for this game. Well, I talked to you guys last week about how the New England Patriots under Bill Belichick's opening day record has not been that great over the last 10 years. In the last 10 years, he's only 6-4. And check this. Bill Belichick with the New England Patriots has never won on opening day without an MVP quarterback starting for him. And it's not just Tom Brady. He won another one with Cam Newton. But outside of those two guys, he has never won on opening day with the New England Patriots. And Tom G's asking how long we're going to be on. We're going to be on probably for about another half hour, going to break down the matchups between the offense and the defense for both sides, and then also a little bit of special teams before we run. Going forward on Monday nights, we're going to air for 90 minutes live on the Jacob Sports Network, breaking down the prior week's game. But let's take a look. So like I said, he's never won with the New England Patriots on opening day without an MVP quarterback, and Mac Jones has been anything but an MVP quarterback. So we'll talk about that as well. But the Eagles are 3.5-point favorites in this game. The over is 45 points. I really like the Eagles in this game. I think they're going to be able to put up points against this Patriots defense, because you look at last year, as good as the New England Patriots defense was, I just went through the numbers, top 6 for rushing yards against. When they played running quarterbacks who have the ability to run, 2 guys, Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields. Lamar Jackson ran for 107 yards. New England loses the game. Justin Fields, Chicago Bears, runs for 82 yards. New England loses the game. So I know a lot of people want Jalen Hurts to run the ball less this year, but that's an area of this Philadelphia Eagles offense that it looks like this New England defense, as good as they may be, are going to have a really hard time stopping. So if the Philadelphia Eagles are able to put up points against this New England Patriots defense, that means that Patriots offense is going to have to put up points and try to match them. And that's something I don't think they're going to be able to do. Last year, this New England Patriots offense really struggled. Offensive coordinator Matt Patricia, quarterback coach Joe Judge. Was it because of them or was it because of Mac Jones? Well, the New England Patriots go out, get rid of both those guys, and they bring in Bill O'Brien, longtime coach. He was the head coach of the Texans from 2014 to 2020. He was the play caller for the New England Patriots 4 out of the 6 seasons he was there. He's there from 2007 to 2011 before he left to become the Houston Texans head coach. And then he also was the offensive coordinator most recently at Alabama. So this is a guy who has a lot of experience in this league, did a lot of good things. But when he was the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, they also had the GOAT. They had Tom Brady. So it's hard to see, but he did do some really good things with the Houston Texans and obviously at the college level. But the New England Patriots fans are hoping that he's going to be able to help out this offense because that New England Patriots offense needs help. They finished 26 out of 32 teams for yards per game, 17th for points per game, 20th for passing yards per game, and 24th for rushing yards per game. And you look at this Philadelphia Eagles defense last year, number 2 for yards against, number 8 for points against, number 1 for passing yards against, and 17th for rushing yards against. That is where this New England Patriots team is going to try to win this game. I don't think that this is rocket science to look at the numbers and figure out what the Patriots are going to try to do. The New England Patriots want to try to keep the Philadelphia Eagles offense off the field as much as possible. Well, how do you do that? By sustaining long drives and running the football. That's something that the Philadelphia Eagles, if you look at their defense, the only real weakness they had, if you could even call it a weakness last year, was against the run. They finished 17th out of 32 teams. But what's interesting is you look at the guys on this offensive side of the ball for the New England Patriots. Last year, Damian Harris went into the season as the starter, and he gets beat out by Ramondre Stevenson. That's the guy to look out for on this New England Patriots offense. He rushed for over 1,000 yards last year, beat out Damian Harris, averaged 5 yards a carry. But even more impressive, Ramondre Stevenson had 69 catches for 421 yards. If I'm Bill O'Brien and Bill Belichick, the way that I am trying to beat this Philadelphia Eagles team on Sunday is to exploit some of these young guys with my most talented players. Well, who are the New England Patriots' most talented players? Ramondre Stevenson at running back, and then your tight ends, Mike Gesicki and Hunter Henry. Those are guys that they're going to try to match up against these young linebackers, these young safeties. They're not going to have time to throw deep. Mac Jones is not going to have time to throw deep. This Philadelphia Eagles defensive line, you guys know, is stacked. They may be even better this year than they were last year with some of the young guys that they added. Philadelphia Eagles, 70 sacks last year. Patriots gave up 41 sacks, middle of the pack. But going into this game, they lose their starting right tackle. Their starting right tackle, Riley Reif, was placed on injured reserve. He's replaced by Calvin Anderson. Calvin Anderson only had 12 starts last year. 12 starts over the last 3 years for the Denver Broncos. And last year, all of his starts were at the left tackle position. So you're putting a guy who really hasn't played a lot in the NFL at that right tackle position, trying to stop guys like Hassan Reddick and Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham. The New England Patriots are not going to have a lot of time to try to throw this ball deep. So I expect them to try to lean on their running game and their tight ends to take advantage of our linebackers and our safeties. So we talked about Ramondre Stevenson, 69 catches, 421 yards. Hunter Henry on the team last year, 41 catches for 500 yards. Year before that, 50 catches, 600 yards with 9 touchdowns. And then they added some weapons. They added James Robinson from the New York Jets. They added tight end Mike Gesicki from the Miami Dolphins. Didn't have a great year last year, 32 catches, 362 yards. But the guy in 2021 had over 70 catches, close to 800 yards. So I expect the New England Patriots to try to line up in double tight end sets, run the football, little dink and dunk to your tight ends, to your running backs. And then another guy that they added, running back Ezekiel Elliott. A couple years ago, that would have scared me. Zeke used to be a beast, but he's coming off career lows in both yardage and yards per carry. He only averaged 3.8 yards a carry last year. I don't expect much from Ezekiel Elliott this season. Like I said, guy used to be very, very good, but these running backs hit a wall quickly. And unfortunately for Zeke, I think he's hit his wall. You then look at the other player that they've added, and I think this is going to fire up a lot of Philadelphia Eagles and fans. TikTok boy, Juju Smith-Schuster. If you guys were paying attention after the Super Bowl, Juju Smith-Schuster did a lot of stuff on social media, a lot of videos on TikTok, really pissed off a lot of the Philadelphia Eagles players. Well, he is now on the New England Patriots. You know that defense, especially James Bradbury, Darius Slay, they are going to be up for this game. They are not going to let Juju Smith-Schuster beat them in this game. But like I said, I don't expect Mac Jones to have enough time to try to throw the ball deep to any of his wide receivers. This is going to be a very short passing game for New England. Try to get the ball out of Mac Jones's hands quickly. They have a backup right tackle. They already struggled last year in the passing game, and you're going against one of the best defensive lines, if not the best defensive line in the NFL. They're going to try to run the ball with short passes to their running backs and their tight ends. Big game for Nakobe Dean. Big game for Zach Cunningham. And big games for our starting safeties. Reed Blankenship and whoever's going to be next to him. We still don't know. Is it Terrell Edmonds? Is it Justin Evans? Is Sidney Brown going to get in there? So this will be a good test for them because I think that's where New England's going to try to attack. And Bill O'Brien, very, very good. You know, these offensive coordinators, they go into these games with, let's try to take advantage of whatever weakness that defense has. That's the Eagles' weakness right now because it's an unknown. These young linebackers, these young safeties, let's hope they're up for the task. Moving on to an area, because I think the Eagles have the advantage on both offense and defense, but moving on to an area where you may give the advantage to the New England Patriots, and that's the special teams unit. We know the Philadelphia Eagles special teams struggled all season last year, finished in the bottom 3 for kickoff returns against and the bottom 2 for net punting yards. And that's something the New England Patriots did well last year. Punt returns and kick returns. Be on the lookout. Their punt returner is very, very good. Marcus Jones, he led the league in punt return average on returners who had more than 25 returns, and he was second in the league in kickoff returns for returners who had more than 25 returns. So this is a guy who can really return the football. That's something the Eagles need to shore up. They lost a lot of special teams players to injury in training camp. No Zach McPherson, no Sean Bradley. These are guys who really contributed to that already struggling special teams unit. So be on the lookout. This is an area that concerns me in this game. Can the Philadelphia Eagles contain Marcus Jones, the New England Patriots kick returner? Yeah, I agree. Tom G just commented, Patriots offense will be misdirection plays all day long. Big test for the D. It's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to try to see, is Nakobe Dean ready? We've only seen him play 34 snaps in the NFL. You know, does Zach Cunningham still have anything left in the tank? I mean, there was a reason he was available that late in training camp. And then you look at these safeties, a lot of question marks back there. So this is a good test, definitely a good test for those position players. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. But back to special teams here. Bill Belichick, the reason he's a good coach is he understands that this is a 3-phase game in the NFL. He had a good special teams unit last year. What does he do in this NFL draft? And I had to double check this because I couldn't believe it. But the New England Patriots used 2 draft picks, one on a punter and one on a kicker this offseason. 2 draft picks. Didn't pick up free agents. They used draft picks. They get a kicker, Chad Ryland, in the 4th round out of Maryland. They get rid of Nick Folk. And then they get a punter as well. Bryce Barringer was rated as the best punting prospect by Mel Kiper coming out of school. They get him in the 6th round. So let's hope these Philadelphia Eagles, we don't even have a punter on our active roster right now. And you got Bill Belichick drafting punters, drafting kickers on a special teams unit that was already very, very good. So as much as I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this game, I don't think the New England Patriots offense is going to be able to keep up. What I think their game plan will be is not going to be able to be sustained if the Philadelphia Eagles offense is going to be able to put up as points as quickly as I think they will. So that's where I think the Philadelphia Eagles will have the advantage. But you look at this special teams unit, you know how quickly a big special teams play can change an entire football game. That's the one area of concern that I have. Can the Eagles right the ship? You can't afford to be in the bottom 2 in net punting yards, bottom 3 for kickoff returns against, especially going against a team like the New England Patriots, who had one of the best punt and kick returners in the league in Marcus Jones. That's an area to look out for. Eagles need to win the special teams battles as well. That is a big part of an NFL football game. So, with all that being said, my prediction, you know where I'm going with this. Philadelphia Eagles win this game. I would expect a little bit of sloppiness early. It's the first game of the year. Your starters really did not play at all in training camp. So especially on that offensive side of the ball, you may see them come out a little sloppy, but I think they will right the ship. I think they will start putting up big points. I'm excited to see what DeAndre Swift adds to this offense from a pass-catching threat out of the backfield. And I think you will see, once the Philadelphia Eagles start putting up points, the New England Patriots game plan of running the ball with short passes, they're going to have to abandon it, and they're going to have to start putting the ball in Mac Jones' hands, trying to force the ball deep. And that's going to allow this Philadelphia Eagles defensive line to get pressure, get sacks, force a couple turnovers, and I think the Eagles will run away with this game. I think they cover the spread of 3.5 points easily, unless there's a late touchdown by the New England Patriots, which I doubt. I think the Philadelphia Eagles win this game by more than 7 points. I expect a big, big performance from Jalen Hurts. As always, he is just rock solid. I think he will be ready. So, but let me know what you guys think if you're following along. I am so excited to be able to be bringing this show to you guys on the new Jacob Sports Network starting on Monday. And the game plan for those are going to be, we will break down the game before. So if the game's on a Sunday, we'll talk about that. If the game was on a Thursday, we'll talk about that. But we'll break down everything that happened, hopefully breaking down a lot of wins for this Philadelphia Eagles team. I think it's going to take at least 12 wins for them to have a shot at that number 1 seed, which is so important now in the NFL, with only the 1 seed getting that bye. So hopefully we'll be breaking down a lot of wins. But be sure, if you're not already following us everywhere, get over to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads. Give us a like, give us a follow. We got a lot of great content coming. I got a lot of great guests planned. So stay tuned, like, follow, share. And as always, go Birds.